Alright everybody, welcome back to some more Pokemon Gold. It is I, Xilestar, and today we're going to be finishing off the game. So last time we left off, we were just about finished off every one of the gyms in the Kanto region. So we finished, excuse me. So we finished off Johto first, and then we did the Elite Four. And now we're finished with the Cantonian version of the gyms, as we can probably tell. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go fly over to the Elite Four. We're going to go beat them a second time. Now, I feel like I am confusing Heart Gold, Soul Silver with this, right? So, like, I'm confusing, like, Heart Gold, Soul Silver and how it does its sort of end game. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and beat the Elite Four again. So if it is any difference, then hooray. If it's not, then it doesn't really hurt. And I'm currently sick. It's nothing serious. It's more so just I don't want to say anything because it's gross kind of thing. But it's nothing serious. It's just like I get congested a little bit, so sometimes you might hear my voice change, and that's just a congestion kind of thing. So sometimes if you'll hear the microphone get muted, I'm gonna do that through the software instead of through the hardware, so that you guys don't get to hear anything. So we're just gonna use Lugia only, like we did last time, and we'll see what we go with. And we're going to go through the final battle of the game. Now, when we're going through Silver, I am thinking of not doing that. So, yeah. Alright. It looks like he's just going to say his same stuff like he did beforehand. Okay. Alright, let's hope that that'll actually help out a little bit. Alright. Xatu? Oh, 40? Yeah, I don't think he changed the level of his Pokemon. The only one we're going to have a problem with is Koga, so... Oh, I thought that it said, like, something was down. I was like, what? I just healed. Like, I literally just went to the Pokemon Center to heal. Also, something that I wanted to mention is that because this is an older Pokemon game, it doesn't do the calculation, or there was something I read about that they changed in the later versions. I can't remember when it was. But in the later generations, they changed it so, though, like, if your Pokemon would have, like, one-shotted it, it doesn't let the health bar go very slowly down, just to make you, like, anticipate that, is it down, is it down, is it down? That's why in the newer Pokemon games you'll see that, like, it's almost like it takes like a fraction of a second in order for it to just go from, let's say, full health down to half, and then you're like, oh man, I only did half. It's like, but for these games it takes like a while for you to figure out if you did half or not. And that's kind of the thing that you need to know. So the reason why this is taking a decent while is probably because of that very reason. There we go. 1 of 4 done. Well, technically 1 of 3, but we're also counting the champion. Again, Koga gave us such a hard time last time, so I'm hoping that with Lugia being level 70 now, instead of being, I think, 60-something, we should be fine. I'm not saying the dialogue because I've already said it before, probably. But yeah. It's only on the final battle that we're going to have a really rough time. I'm going to keep in... Like, if I do fail it, like, a bunch of times with what our challenge is supposed to be, which is Lugia only. Where we use a Leisuria. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and we're going to keep repeating over and over and over again until we win. So if this becomes 6 videos, because of that reason, it becomes 6 videos. If it becomes 8 videos, then it becomes 8 videos. If it becomes 10 videos, then it becomes 10 videos. But you guys get to see, like, every attempt that gets happen. Like that happens. I think... See, Aeroblast is our best because we get stab, plus we get that other thing, too. Oh, that's something I wanted to look up too before we do the final battle. Excuse me. Those are evolutionary. Muck. Okay, we're gonna use Shadow Ball. Just trying to see if there's any good held items that I just don't know about. Because this is Gen 2, and Gen 2 was the introduction to these. They do have it? Where? Oh, Crobat survived? What did it survive? Oh, it survived that. That's why. That should take it out in one shot anyway. Okay, well, it says in Celadon you get it, so I'm going to try and keep an eye out for it. I don't know if this actually is true, though. But that'll definitely help out around the whole thing, too. Just seems very odd, though, that this would be the one version that I would have it, though. Oh, it survived? That's interesting. Please don't hit yourself with a confusion, Leisuria. No! That's not gonna do a lot. We're a psychic type. And it can't confuse us because we're already confused. And we're not confused anymore. Good. So the item that I'm trying to figure out is if there's actually a leftovers in this game, and there is. Apparently, it's according to this, it says that it is in Celadon City, which is actually very interesting in my opinion because I did not know that it was in Celadon City, or that it was even in this game. I thought that it was like a Gen 3 item. Yeah, let's go in with at least a decent chunk of HP. Do I have a max elixir, though? Oh, I have a max ether, too. That's awesome. I do have a max elixir. Oh, no, it's not max elixir. It's elixir, isn't it? The one that I'm thinking of. Because max ether fully restores 1 PP of 1 move. Unless in this game, it's different. Well, we'll probably only need, like, what, Icy Wind, I think, in the, we'll only need, like, what, Icy Wind in the champion room. Yeah, so I can't wait to try and go and get that, leftovers. So we could also technically go and get the King's Rock as well, which will allow us the ability to flinch. Which you might be thinking, like, why would we want to be able to flinch? Well, because of the fact that, like, if we're extremely faster than our opponent, we would want to be able to flinch them so that we don't take any damage. Which would also technically just make having... excuse me. Which also make having recover kind of redundant in a way, but that's actually a really good thing, though, because if we actually have the chance of making sure that we don't need to use recover, maybe nearly as much, it means that we can still pump out a lot of damage while also maintaining the fact that, like, we are being, well, extremely smart at the same time. So right now, as I am currently recording this, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just came out with the Samurott raid. I got to it a little bit too late, but it's fine. I got the Samurott, don't get me wrong. I got the Samurott the first wave, but I got to it like when it was just about to leave. I think it leaves in my area at around 7:59 p.m. or something like that, and by the time that I got a hold of it, it was like 3 p.m. So like I had a 4-hour window of doing it, and I had no Pokemon that was specifically trained to deal with it. So I went with my Koraidon, which was max attack, max speed, with a little bit in HP, or whatever is left over in HP, in order for me to actually be able to do it. Because I read somewhere that the Koraidon was actually a really good Pokemon for it. So when I read that, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. So I did, because the event was out for 2 to 3 days kind of thing. Well, this was the 3rd day, right? They had a structure list of like what you should have on your Koraidon and how your turn order should be. Which is usually like Screech for the first 3 turns, then Swords Dance, then Flare Blitz. Once you use Flare Blitz, your Pokemon is down and you get to just sit there and wait for 5 seconds. And then after, it'll reverse all of the changes that you did, which doesn't really make much sense. And then it says like, what did it, I gotta go find that website again. It said something about it. Give me a second, I'm gonna go pull it up. Yeah, so turns 1 to 3, use Screech as much as you can. Screech has 85% accuracy, so you might be able to get 2. I got 3 on my second chance, because on my first one, I accidentally misclicked. Because the game keeps pushing your move up to the top when it's being interrupted. And so when that happens, I get tripped up with that. That's why usually what I do is I usually have my main attacking move on the top. So that when it trips me up, I go, I don't care anymore. My top move is the move I'm using. It's only the setup moves that I need to quickly go, I put it on the bottom. So though I know that they're there. But I'm surprised they still haven't fixed that issue. It wasn't an issue in Sword and Shield, but it is an issue in these games. Which is what's confusing me, is that, like, it is such an easy thing to patch, but they still haven't done it yet. Anyway, so what it does is that for turns 1 to 3, it says to use Screech, then turn 4, use Swords Dance to boost Koraidon's attack stat once the energy shield is up. Then use Flare Blitz to deal super effective damage and destroy the enemy shield. You won't necessarily destroy it. You'll pretty much take out like 95% of its like shield. I don't know why they say that. Maybe it's because they think that you're with other people, and that's why they say it. So that could be why that they're trying to say, hey, you'll pretty much break its shield, because I didn't. it was like at a sliver. So like if one of the NPCs would have just like smashed it with something, it would have broken, and they did. So there's that. Then turn 5, yeah, that's the Flare Blitz to destroy the enemy shield. So pretty much what happens is that I pretty much made the Samurott have -6 defense, and I went +2 in attack, and I Flare Blitzed, and I almost broke the shield, and then I got taken out because of my Flare Blitz. And then it says for turn 6, use Screech if Samurott is at -4 defense, or use Heal Up otherwise, because do not use Sword Stance yet, because Samurott will reset your team's stat changes once it falls to 65%. I did see this, and I thought it was hilarious. I think all I did was I used Collision Course instead, because it's NPCs, right? So, yeah, who cares? Then it tells me for turns 7 to 8, use Sword Stance to boost up Koraidon's attack. So pretty much you want to go +4. I think I went +6 and then I Flare Blitzed, but I don't remember off the top of my head if I actually did do that. But I can definitely tell you, though, that, like, the Koraidon that they're saying to use is not my particular favorite. It uses most of the moves that I do, except for the fact that it says to use Screech. I got rid of, I think, my Koraidon's Outrage because that didn't actually work out too well in this battle. For that. Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. Yeah. Anyway. So I had a really fun time with it. I like the Samurott one. It's a lot better. The Decidueye one was fine. I had a Pokemon specifically for it, and the funny part is that Pokemon was shiny. I was very happy. I was going... so I went for Belly Bolt because I've never used the Belly Bolt before. I've seen it being used from certain people, and I was like, hey, that's actually sounds like a really cool Pokemon to use. So I wanted to use it myself. So I ended up using it, and oh my god, was it ever such a good pick. But the only problem that I have was what the Decidueye was doing. Not what Belly Bolt was doing, the Decidueye. So Decidueye likes to use extra crit chance moves, because it wants to be able to do as maximum amount of damage, which I can completely agree. I'd want to do the maximum amount of damage, and it was practically using moves that I would use on my Decidueye. The only thing that I had on my Decidueye was Swords Dance, Roost for recovery, Leaf Blade for stab, and Spirit Shackle